Breaking Mzansi Insider reports. Defense Minister Angie Motshekga and Acting Police Minister Professor Firoz Cachalia have clarified that the joint deployment of South African National Defence Force (SANDF) members alongside police is firmly grounded in the interpretation of the law. The ministers addressed the Joint Standing Committee on Defence in Parliament, emphasising that all procedures followed are consistent with constitutional provisions and national security legislation. During the briefing, both ministers outlined the state of preparedness of the combined forces, assuring Parliament that operational plans are in place to support law enforcement in maintaining stability. They stressed that the Sandf's role is not to replace the police, but to reinforce capacity where needed, particularly in situations that require additional manpower and logistical support. President Cyril Ramaphosa first announced the deployment during his State of the Nation address in Cape Town last month, citing rising security concerns and the need for a coordinated response. The decision was positioned as part of broader efforts to strengthen public safety and protect critical infrastructure. Motshekga highlighted that such deployments are not unprecedented, noting that the Constitution allows for military assistance in support of the police under specific conditions. Cachalia echoed this, adding that clear rules of engagement and oversight mechanisms are in place to ensure accountability and prevent misuse of power. Members of the Joint Standing Committee on Defence pressed the ministers on issues of oversight, duration, and the potential impact of the deployment on civil liberties. In response, Defence Minister Angie Motshekga assured lawmakers that the deployment is subject to strict parliamentary oversight, with regular reports expected to ensure transparency and accountability throughout the operation. Acting Police Minister Professor Firoz Cachalia further emphasized that SANDF members involved in the deployment are operating under clearly defined legal frameworks. He noted that all personnel have been briefed on rules of engagement, with a strong emphasis on respecting human rights and working in coordination with the South African Police Service, SAPS, which remains the primary authority in maintaining law and order. Concerns were also raised about how long the joint deployment would remain in place. The ministers indicated that the operation is not indefinite and will be continuously assessed based on the evolving security situation on the ground. Any extension or withdrawal, they said, would depend on measurable improvements in safety and stability. Committee members also questioned the readiness and morale of the deployed forces. Motshekga responded by highlighting that SANDF members have undergone the necessary preparations and are equipped to handle support roles effectively. She added that coordination between the military and police structures has been strengthened to avoid operational confusion. As the joint deployment unfolds, attention is now shifting toward its long-term impact on South Africa's security landscape. Defense Minister Angie Motshekga reiterated that the intervention is part of a broader, multi-layered strategy aimed at stabilizing high-risk areas while allowing police to regain full operational control over time. Acting Police Minister Professor Firoz Cachalia highlighted that beyond immediate security concerns, the deployment also serves as a deterrent to organized crime and coordinated acts of violence. He noted that visible cooperation between the SANDF and SAPS is intended to send a strong message that the state has both the capacity and the will to respond decisively to threats. The ministers also pointed to ongoing efforts to strengthen policing from within, including better training, improved intelligence gathering, and enhanced resource allocation. They emphasized that the military's involvement should not be seen as a substitute for effective policing, but rather as a temporary reinforcement while systemic improvements are being implemented. Looking ahead, Parliament is expected to continue monitoring the deployment closely, with further briefings anticipated in the coming weeks. Lawmakers are likely to assess whether the intervention is delivering measurable results, particularly in reducing crime levels and restoring public confidence in law enforcement agencies. Ultimately, the success of the joint operation will depend on its ability to strike a delicate balance, ensuring safety and order without overextending military involvement in civilian life. For now, government remains confident that the deployment is a necessary step towards securing stability while laying the groundwork for more sustainable, long-term solutions.